Albuquerque. Sean is 45 years old. Sean is survived by his son, Jason East. He's survived by his sisters, Tara East and Sherida Weaver, and Sherida's husband, Jason. His father, Jerry East. Jen Lipte, the mother of his child. Jessica Abeda, his girlfriend. Other family members. And as your presence so very eloquently attests, numerous friends. Sean was preceded in death by his mother, Brenda East, and by his daughters, Jane and Sydney. When difficult times come, friends gather around. They come with words of encouragement, with words of sympathy. They come with flowers. They come with food. They come with just love. And that is so very, very important. I thank you for all you've done for the East family. And I promise you that the family will not soon forget what you have done for them. But I am also convinced that it's our God who gives us the ultimate in comfort and courage and support in these difficult times. The 55th Psalm is a psalm written by David. I don't know the background to it, what he was facing, but it was an incredibly difficult time. But listen to some of the things he says in this 55th Psalm and see if what he says doesn't match some of the feelings that you're having. He began by talking about the pain he was feeling. Give ear to my prayer, O God, and hide not yourself from my plea for mercy. Attend to me and answer me. I am restless in my complaint, and I moan. My heart is in anguish within me. The terrors of death have fallen upon me. Fear and trembling come upon me, and horror overwhelms me. And I say, oh, that I had the wings of a dove. I would fly away and be at rest. But then he determined to look not at the tragedy he was facing, but at the God who loved him. But I call to God, and the Lord will save me. Cast your burden on the Lord, and he will sustain you. He will never permit the righteous to be moved. Let's begin with a prayer. Dear God in heaven, we thank you for being our God, for being the God who has revealed yourself to us as Father, with all the positive thoughts that brings to us, thoughts of love, care, support, strength. Father, thank you for being that God to us. And Father, thank you for family. Our families provide us so much love. They provide us people to love. They provide us, again, support and encouragement through difficult times. They're our help and our encouragers. So Father, when a member is taken from the family, there is a large, big hole that leaves a great deal of pain. So I pray today for the East family. I pray that you will fill that void with the assurance that you are a God of life, that you love them, that you would fill that hole with the words and the caring expressions of love that have been shown by so many people here today. Father, bless this service. I pray that the things we say, the things we do, will be honoring of Sean and will be encouragement to the family. I pray in Jesus' name. Amen. There are several who have known Sean in various aspects of his life who are going to spend a few minutes telling us their memories of Sean. We're going to begin with Joe Perez.
Sean was a wonderful person. He was a son, an uncle, a nephew, a husband, a father, our brother, and a friend to everyone here. No matter where you fit in this category of friends, uncles, nephews, brothers, he made you feel special. Sean had that special gift of making us feel that we were part of him, and he was like, hey, how are you guys doing today? And he just reached out with him, and he was so real. He wasn't like, hey, phony or anything. He just meant so much to everyone, and everyone meant so much to him. And it's been so hard for me. I feel like, I feel lost, I should say. I feel lost, and every day is just a better day, it seems like, but we're all gonna miss him a great deal, and we need to bring together as a family. For Jason, for his friends, for his family, and the main thing is show that light. And so it's kind of an ongoing situation where him and I would text each other, and we'd be at conventions or at different events, and we would talk about movie quotes. And one that comes to mind is the quote for Blade Runner. And it was where Roy goes and talks to Terrell, who was actually the creator, and asks him, why so short? Why am my time so short? And he says, well, the light that burns twice as bright lasts only half as long. And I feel that that's Sean. He was bright. His love for us, his being was so great. He touched so many people's lives that he burned half his bride, because he's gone now, and we're gonna miss him a great deal. And I feel that he'll be with us at our troops, at our events. I feel like he'll always be with us, and it's up to us to use that light to bright to everyone else as we're at events. So what I need to say is, we need to shine up in troop, and let's show everybody that we have that light in us. And one more is that he loved his garrison, he loved the Rebel Legion, he loved all his friends and family. So with that, I want to say, we'll see you, Sean. We miss you, we love you, you're our brother, and we'll always think of you in our dreams and our hearts. Thank you.
Ty Odell, another member of the garrison.
First, I'd like to thank Jason and his family for allowing us to share this memorial for Sean with them. Sean was our CO, but you know what else I can say about him? He was our friend, he was our brother. If any of us needed him, he was there. But more than that, he was there with a smile on his face. He was always cracking jokes and lightening up whatever the situation was. I've talked to several members of command the last few days. Like me, most of them talk to Sean at least once a day, sometimes more. I've mentioned to them that I find myself thinking I need to call Sean and talk to him about this, or text Sean and talk to him about that. I'm definitely going to miss his leadership, his guidance, but mostly I'm going to miss just talking to him. We're both on the forums a lot, still are, I am. We like to laugh and make fun of all the constant drama going on in the Legion. We also talk about all of you guys constantly. He cared so much about all of you. I saw yesterday on Facebook about you guys. He truly cared if one of you graduated, got a promotion, or if one of you were sick, or even if you were depressed. He'd say, Ty, we got to text him and fix it or whatever. Being in command position for some time now, I've been part of quite a few command meetings. One of our common sayings during these meetings is for family. Sean believed that with all of his heart. He held the responsibility of commander close to his heart. He expected the same sense of responsibility from the rest of his command team. What I've seen this last week was that this whole garrison is ready to step up. and take responsibility when the term family is put to the test. My heart was touched to see how many of you were here and how many of you all were here to help any way you could. I think Jason truly has a bright future. Along with his DRG family, his actual family, I know he'll do great things. I'd like to read a verse from the book of John. So also you have sorrow now, but I will see you again, and your hearts will rejoice. No one will take your joy from you. John 6:22.
Two Waynes are going to be speaking. First, we'll hear from Wayne Sullivan, and then we'll hear from Wayne Hoxie.
Reflections of Sean. I can't believe he's gone. He was such a huge presence and a rock-solid person of integrity, it doesn't seem possible that he could just vanish. When I reflect on Sean, there's no one single identifiable memory that is sticking with me, because he was such a huge presence. But there are two impacts on me that I want to share. One is that Sean made almost everything seem like a little more fun. I knew that if I saw Sean's name on a troop or other event, it would just be a little more fun. There might be a joke, might be a comment, an escapade, or even just a smile. But somehow if Sean was going to be there, it was going to be a little more fun, and that made me want to be there. I'm sure we will all miss that. But we don't have to. We can all try to be the Sean that made things a little more fun. We can all revel in each troop or event. We can all revel in each troop or event and smile to one another. We can make everyone in the room feel good. We can make each other laugh. We can all make the event a good time. We can all be the Sean. The other impact is that Sean made everyone feel included. So many people have said they joined the Legion because of Sean. Several have come forward in the last week to say that they're inspired to join because of his passing. Sean managed to make everyone feel as they were somehow an important part of the group. A while ago, there was someone whose personal quirks bugged me. I spent a lot of time being irritated by what they said and what they did. One day it struck me how easily Sean simply welcomed everyone and how he embraced this person. It was a true role modeling moment for me. And I resolved not to worry about people's quirks. It was truly liberating because I no longer had to worry about it. It was so much less draining because I accepted everyone with whatever their unique style was. They were part of the group, and I valued their camaraderie. Sean truly personified this. But we can all do this. We can all be the person who welcomes everyone no matter what. We can all be the Sean. So we've lost the person who role modeled making things inclusive and a little more fun. But we can all fill this role. We can all be the Sean. We can be the role model who makes things a little more fun. We can all be the one that makes everyone feel welcome and part of the group. We can all keep his legacy alive, because in that powerful concept, it means he hasn't truly vanished from our lives. We can all be the Sean.
Did Wayne Hoxie not make it? There he is.
You guys have all been so eloquent. I'm gonna be a hot mess. Normally for something like this, I'd be in a suit. This is Sean we're talking about. He'd want everybody to be comfortable, casual. So here I am, dressed up in Sean's everyday uniform, jeans, t-shirt. The only thing I'm lacking is a ball cap. I know it's weird. Sean and I actually used to joke around that if one of us died before the other, that the survivor would get up, share about them, start quoting random movies, ramble on and on, and just basically in the end, absolutely ruin the funeral. I met Sean in Las Cruces in 1992. I won't call it instant attraction because it's just kind of weird. But we were like peanut butter and jelly, mustard on pizza. Unjudged. We would like peas and carrots. That's Forrest Gump for all you New Mexico Aggies in the audience. Like everybody here, I've got a lot of stories about Sean. Most of my stories are from his pre-troop days, from before he was a father. They're from back when he was still solidifying his identity, still turning into the man he would become. I've shared a small fraction of these stories with Jason already. Instead of telling a bunch of personal stories that would mean more to me than any of you, I wanted to look very quickly at something else. See, Sean was my best friend. But I was not unique in that regard. Many of you here consider Sean a best friend. And recently this week I broke down crying talking about him to one of my coworkers. They were a little surprised and confused to hear that he lived here in Albuquerque, to hear that I was not part of his day-to-day life. Sure, we texted each other, we called, we messaged, we even wrote letters to each other, but we didn't see each other often. We talked about it. He wanted me to come visit, to bring my 11-year-old son, Luke, who's the biggest Star Wars nerd in all of Texas, to bring him up here to see and experience a troop event. He wanted me to meet the people in his life. But I let life get in the way. And year after year, it remained talk with no action. And now it's too late. And I'll always regret that. So why, if I wasn't part of his everyday life, was I so destroyed to hear about his death. Why do so many people consider him to be one of their closest friends? The Irish poet John O'Donoghue spent his life discussing the phrase Anam Cara. It's a Celtic phrase that in Gaelic translates into soul friend. He said, an Anam Cara understands you for who you are without pretensions or masks. They open up a friendship that's not wounded or limited by separation or distance. This kind of friendship can remain alive even when the friends live far away from each other. Even across distance, two friends can stay attuned to each other and the flow of each other's lives. The Anam Cara is supposedly rare. They say there can be only one, however. But I would say that Sean was the Anam Cara, or the soul friend, to many, many people. You know, the people you love and your friends, they were all strangers once. Somehow they come into our lives, and our lives become unimaginable without them. They say if you send out positivity and you share the things that are happy and good within you, it'll come back to you multiplied by 10,000. Well, that's what Sean did. That's what he shared with all of us. The happy and the good within him. A famous coach once said that a man's reputation is what others think of him, and his character is who he really is. We all think a lot of Sean. But all of this that we're sharing together, all of you, Jason, all of this shows his character. Who he really was, who he really is. Selfless, funny, giving, kind, and a friend to everyone he met. A good friend of Sean's and of mine, Carl Beagle, was discussing with me this week how amazing it is to see the outpouring of love for Sean. What a testament that you all are in the life of the beast. I know he's looking down at all of us right now and saying, I like it. Darwin said a man's friendships are one of the best measures of his worth. I look at all of you today, his friends, and I would say that Sean was one of the richest men alive. Even in death, through all the stories we hear about him, he reminds us to be kinder to each other, to take care of those around us who need help. And you can't ask for a better legacy than that. One time, when my girlfriend, who's now my wife, she's smoking hot blonde over here. One time when she was driving down from El Paso to see me, as I was in the shower, getting all cleaned up and pretty, Sean East he stole all of my underwear, all of my pants, and only left behind a girl's pair of short shorts that he had bought at the flea market, and he almost ruined my life. And I'm lucky I got married. Thanks for letting me.
One of the things the family told me was that Sean was a prankster. Well, that's over the top. His sister Tara East has a few things that she'd like to share.
Well, I just want to preface this by saying parental guidance has suggested there's a little bit of mild violence. This is my life growing up with Shawnee. And I couldn't throw him under the bus today. I just couldn't do it. But he did get his fair share of punches on my arm. I have no idea. Shawnee was born May 10th, 1973. He was adopted at birth by Jerry East and Brenda East. He was named after the gorgeous and amazing Sean Connery. My mom and Sean shared a love for James Bond movies. Sean was 9 months and 2 days old when I busted into his peaceful life. Sean was very special and loved by so many. He was so funny. You have no idea. You think he's funny here? I do. He's nuts. Witty and mostly a loving person with a huge heart. He was very close to his mom. We both were. I was a daddy's girl and Sean, he was a mom's boy through and through. They had a blood bond, known to many. My mother raised us with Daddy to love Christ and treat others with kindness. The love for Christ was stamped on Sean and I forever by our parents during all the years that we spent at Skyridge Christian Youth Camp. Our mom also made sure that we had fun every day, all day, except when she needed to spank us. Mom would get Dad's big black belt and stomp down the hallway looking like a dead man walking. She rarely missed our butts. But then we started squirming and we got older, and Sean figured out how to grab the belt in mid-swing and take my mom down. He would swing her around so much that she would just start laughing and she gave up. Sean and I were extremely close all of our lives. Even when I moved to Texas, we were still carried on that bond. Now the fun stuff, okay? Sean was my big brother. He was an honor, and I was perfect and innocent. Sean and I decided when we were 4 that we did not like the way the console TV looked. So we got this idea that we could fix it. We got out the biggest tub of butter from the kitchen refrigerator. We dragged it into the den and we buttered that TV. Up and down, all over. They could never get it clean. Then it was better. And then once we were still 4, and we had this idea we could warm a pillow. So we go into Mom's bedroom, and we took Daddy's big king-size pillow and drug that heavy thing down the hall to the kitchen. We then proceeded to turn on the stove high, place the pillow inside the hot oven, and yes, it worked, but the pillow sadly burned. It was his idea, by the way. Now the real brother and sister stories. These stories include, like I said, misconduct and minor violence that we warned. Mom used to throw huge slumber parties for us, usually 9 or more at a time. When I had a slumber party, the girls would all come. I thought I was so cool. To my surprise, they were actually there to see Sean. So he started a pillow fight with all of us. I was so jealous because they were no longer playing with me. They were all over in Sean's bedroom. He didn't even mind. I started plotting for my jealousy, my revenge on this evil brother of mine. I joined the pillow fight, but before I did, I took a deodorant can and put it in a pillowcase. And I made a beeline for the hallway where Shawnee was. And I boxed him over the head as hard as I could, and he went down. He still bears the scar on his forehead. We saw it a couple days ago. It's still there.
Yeah.
But I was perfect. And I don't remember the rest because I was likely dead. I'm not sure what prompted this incident. I was the perfect child once again, and he was the tyrant. So I took a very sharp lead pencil in 3rd grade, drew my arm back as far as I could, and stabbed Sean right in the arm. He still bears that piece of lead in his arm. I saw it the other day. He still has it, and he reminded me of it all the time. Look, sis, you did that to me. Last story about the adventures of Sean and Sweet Tara. Sean and I have an aunt in Houston named Aunt Dale. We visited her every summer. One summer we were all about to get in the car and go to Astroworld. Sean had this great idea, yes, it was his idea, that we could run and jump over the big sewer pit that was supposed to be a septic, but back then it was okay and acceptable to have just a hole in the ground. So we were gonna get over that septic and run as hard as we could on the overflow and jump about 6 feet. To me, it was 6 feet down, and we would jump over it to see if we could miss it. Last round, I made it over safely and got in the car. Sean took his last leap of faith, and he ran so hard, he was preparing to jump over the pit of stinky death. Sean did not make it in time. He landed right in the middle, waist deep. Mom and Aunt Dill fished him out, washed him off, and off we went. He smelled all day like poop. That was my moment of glory. It's been 35 years, and I'm still laughing. Because he really got it that day. Sean made so many laugh over the last 45 years of his life. He lit up my world. He protected me. Okay, the last thing I have to say, there was this kid named Corny. Yeah, Corny, C-O-R-N-Y. When we were in elementary school, I was in second and he was in third. And you know Sean was very popular. Well, this kid Corny would tackle me and try to kiss me. Ew. So Sean, he said to me, "Is Corny bothering you?" And I said, "Absolutely." And he said, "Okay, I'll take care of it, no problem." Well, the next day they invited Corny to play football with them. And all I know is that after recess, I saw this kid walking back full of dirt with a bloody nose. Never bothered me again. That's my Shawnee.
Thank you, Tara. Finally, Jason has a tribute that he wants to make for his father.
Hi, thank you guys so much. All the support and all the words, it really means a lot. And so I just wanted to say that, my dad had tons of interests and ideas and things that he really liked. One of them, well, a lot of them, he had a lot, was he liked poetry. He used to write poetry, actually got published in a book. And it's supposed to be a website, but the website got shut down. But he also was huge in music, and he had so many CDs. He had 800 records that he would just go to Goodwill and pick some out and take them home and then just play them because they reminded him of his childhood. And also he had over, I think, about 2,000 CDs that were just stuff that he bought over time, and he had a tape collection from when he was in high school, and it goes on. And some of you who know me, one of my biggest inspirations is probably music. I was gonna play, but I don't know if I can sing. But I have a lot of songs that I've been thinking about this past week, probably about maybe 5 or 6 about playing. I can't really decide. So I can try combining them, but I don't know. So I guess I'll see how it goes.
Beautiful baby.
We've come to a place like this because we know that death comes to every one of us at one point or another. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 1 and 2. For everything there is a season. There is a time for every matter under heaven. There's a time to be born, and there's a time to die. So how do we deal with death? Death is hard regardless, but especially when someone's so young. How do you deal with death? I want to suggest three things to remember as you go through the next days and weeks and months. Number one, remember Sean. Memory's a good thing. There's an old Irish tombstone that says, death leaves a heartache that no one can heal, but love leaves a memory that no one can steal. So hold those memories tight. We've heard so many of the memories from those who spoke today, and I thank you so very, very much for that. I didn't have a lot of interaction with Sean after he got out of high school, so a lot of the stories they told were brand new to me as an adult. One of the ones that struck me that said, boy, that's something I did not know about Sean, was his absolute love for children. As part of his garrison, they would go to the University of New Mexico Children's Hospital. They would work with Toys for Tots. They were involved with kids. Make-A-Wish. Forgotten who it was. But one of the family members said that at one point, there was a little fellow who was flying somewhere for a Make-A-Wish trip. And Sean met him at the airport to escort him to the plane. He was in full regalia at 3:30 in the morning. Remember Sean. Keep these memories alive. Because Sean's absent, but he'll never be gone as long as you remember. Remember Sean. Share the story. There's going to be a reception following this service. Go to the reception and find the family and share the stories with them, because they want to know the stories that you know if they don't. Number two, remember that God is always with you. The 23rd Psalm is probably the most familiar psalm in all of Scripture. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. This psalm was written by David, who was himself a shepherd. As a young boy, he watched his father's sheep. And he knew the relationship that a shepherd had to the sheep. The sheep were absolutely dependent on the shepherd for their well-being. It was the shepherd who kept them safe at night and then led them to water and pasture in the day. It was the shepherd who searched for them when they wandered off from the flock. And it was the shepherd who healed their cuts and their scrapes. And it was the shepherd who protected them from predators. He reflected on that as he reflected on his relationship to God. And he recognized that in the face of every issue in life, he was as hopeless and vulnerable as his sheep were as he needed God. He needed God to have this full, whole, complete life. And so he wrote the psalm. I want to read the psalm again for the family. This time, Jason, I want to use a different pronoun. The Lord is your shepherd. You shall not want. He makes you lie down in green pastures. He leads you beside still waters. He restores your soul. He leads you in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though you are walking through this valley of the shadow of death, you need fear no evil, for God is with you. His rod and his staff comfort you. And then number three, remember God's promises to you. The Apostle Paul wrote in the letter to the Corinthian church that at some point, death is going to be swallowed up in victory. That comes from Isaiah 25, verse 8. God will swallow up death forever, and the Lord God will wipe away tears from all faces. That is the promise of God. And you can live with these certain promises. God has promised a life beyond the grave. He's promised a life where He will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and death shall be no more. Neither shall there be sorrow, nor crying, nor pain anymore. To be sure, these promises will not take away the pain that you feel today. Not today or tomorrow or soon. But these promises will give you the courage to go on living, the strength to rebuild your lives without Sean. A man named David Harkins wrote a brief essay called He Is Gone. You can shed tears that He is gone, or you can smile because He has lived. You can close your eyes and pray that He will come back, or you can open your eyes and see all that He has left. Your heart can be empty because you can't see Him, or you can be full of the love that you shared. You can turn your back on tomorrow and live yesterday, or you can be happy for tomorrow because of yesterday. You can remember Him and only that He is gone, or you can cherish His memory and let it live on. You can cry and close your mind, be empty and turn back, or you can do what He would want. Open your eyes, love, and go on. Father, I thank You for being near the family of Sean East in their hour of grief. I thank You for the comfort that comes to them in knowing that You are their shepherd and the source of their hope. I pray that You will continue to uphold them with Your sustaining grace. I pray that You will bless them with strength and courage and peace. In the name of Jesus, amen. Now may the Lord of peace Himself give you peace at all times and in every way. The Lord will be with you all. This ends our service. Thank you again so much for being here to support the family. This time, we want to invite you to the reception. It's going to be